Are you stuck? What about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for 30-minute moments as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. It's time to celebrate that life with 30-minute moments.
Hey there, welcome to 30-Minute Moments for ease and betterment in your life. I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and I'll tell you what, this show gives you those wonderful nuggets, those little things that can really, if you will put them into your life, if you just start this today, then you'll find that you can get more flow and ease, and that worry, doubt, and fear just starts to go away. Doesn't that sound magical? Well, it happens. My guest today is Sally Lou Loveman. Now, first of all, you got to love that name. That is fantastic. Sally Lou Loveman, you're welcome. And she has spent, now you've got, this girl is one heck of a mover and shaker, has spent a lifetime doing what she loves. As a former audience producer for the Oprah Winfrey Show, yay, haven't we watched that? Yes. And Oprah's Life Class, and recently, Megyn Kelly's Today Show. Now, see what I mean? And she lives her purpose by connecting with audiences. Now, this is the cool thing. At age 14, Sally Lou turned into her passion for television when she was in an audience or an audience member at the Mike Douglas Show. I remember that show.
That's showing my age.
No. We won't talk about that. And she spotted a girl on the set with a clipboard. And while she did not know what the girl did, she knew that one day she would do it too. Now, isn't that cool? After a 35-year career in television and having entertained over 500,000 people from the Oprah stage, Sally Lou Loveman brings her message to a new audience through her company called Love Speaks, which is so apropos with her name. Today, Sally Lou serves her clients and engages audiences with inspirational presentations that connect with truth and talent in life's work. I love this. When people, quote unquote, when people connect and recognize the great joys in life, the purpose that feeds their spirit and soul, they share the enthusiasm and drive with the people who surround them, and that is the moment when love really speaks. Now, I love that. That's so true, because if we're happy, we feel fulfilled, it spreads like wildfire. Welcome to the show, Sally Lou.
Oh, thank you, Alena. Thank you so much. I think we're speaking the same language. What do you think?
I think we just might.
I think we're going to be doing some love speaking.
I think we are. So
I love everything you're doing, too. So
thank you.
Thank you for having me today.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you. Now, this is quite a big change in your career, too. And when...
Yes.
I want to go back. I want to talk because I love this. You don't know how much I love it. The 14-year-old girl who...
Right, because I read about you being 15 when you discovered you wanted to sing.
Yes.
And that has to be your love speaks. That has to be what the environment you love the most, using your talent and something that feels like home to you, right?
You know, it's true, and I have always done that. I always say in high school I had 3 things I loved. I fell in love with writing, I fell in love with music, and I fell in love with plants.
Okay.
And I have done all 3. And
so cool.
But people always say, why are you have such a cool energy? Well, you and I both know now, don't you? We know.
Yes.
If you are living with what your spirit says, but to be a 14-year-old girl and look up on that stage and just say, I don't know what you do, but I'm going to be doing it. That's...
Yeah, well, the truth is that when I was a young girl, not really at 14, but younger, I was a scaredy cat. I was scared of everything, and I still sort of am. But
wow.
I could give you a list of all the things I'm scared of. I'm just not scared of the number one thing people are scared of, which is public speaking. But I really have learned. I know it makes no sense. I got hit with all the others.
That's funny.
I've really learned that when you are in your purpose, you have no fear.
That's right.
For some reason, being in a television studio, because I saw it early on. It spoke to me. I loved everything about it. I loved the smell of the studio. I loved the feel of the crew. I loved like that camaraderie feel. I loved like the taste of the excitement, seeing all the action and hearing even the sounds of the studio. Like, and so it sucked me in and it pleased every one of my senses. So now when I'm in a TV studio, that's where I really started my speaking career, because I was unexpectedly handed a microphone at 25 and said, here, warm up the Oprah show audience. I'm like, what does that mean? Yeah. And I didn't know what that meant. So I just spoke from my heart, because we all have a heart and we can all use it when we speak. And when we do, it just makes everything flow and easy. You're not remembering anything because you're speaking from your heart. But I have noticed, because I do have other fears, like flying. And yes, but if I'm writing on a plane, like if I'm writing, anything, a speech, whatever, a book, whatever, I am not scared. I also was hired by my favorite airline to speak on a plane, and I could not say yes fast enough. They had to tell me to buckle up because I was on the flight attendant call thing, talking to the audience. The audience. They were really my audience, but they were passengers.
They're captive audiences.
Very captive. Very captive. And I literally forgot we were taking off. And that's, I'm usually in the fetal position. So I always remind people that as long as you're in your purpose, you are not scared.
And isn't it funny, because I know so many people who say, oh, I want to get into this because it makes lots of money. But that's not the love.
Well, what does?
That's not the love.
You know what does.
Yeah, I know. And both of us are saying it wasn't about the money. It was about the feeling. It's about the feeling. Yeah. I was just like you. When I got on stage, and or it wasn't even the actual production of doing it for me. It was the rehearsals. It was the process and the community you form with the people in the show or the recital that you're doing or the opera. It's everybody becomes family, and it's high energy. It's electric. It just feeds your soul. I used to love it.
Right. Well, I say there's nothing like show day. For me, show day is everything, and I do love the process getting up to show day. For you, your show day is performing on a stage. For me, a show day is we're in the studio, the audience is coming in, everyone's on part of the team, everything's coming together. You're working with every single facet of the team, and and everyone brings their certain talent. And I also love to say that, if you want your dream to work, your team can't look like you, act like you, think like you, speak like you. Yes. And so you put all that talent together, and it's show day. And listen, we had, I want to say 4,561 shows at the Oprah Winfrey Show. Now, I was not there.
That's amazing.
For one of them, but I started it. I interviewed with Oprah in 1986 when the show went national, and I didn't get the job, but they called me back a year later. And I got it in 1987, and then I did not work the whole way through full time, but I was there because I either was there full time or I was freelancing because I was having babies, and then I went back full time, and then I was freelancing. I have come and gone, and it was one of those things where you just couldn't stay away. I could not stay away. I would get burned out, but I would say, okay, I have to come back. I need my drug of love.
Sure. It is a love. It is a love.
Yeah, and when I was leaving my house at 6 a.m. every morning, and my kids were asleep, and my husband was taking them to school and packing the lunches, I felt selfish. I felt like, gosh, I know I was about to work like a 15-hour day, but I felt so selfish because I was doing what I loved. And as soon as my foot got in that building and I smelled Oprah's hairspray and a flat iron, I was like, oh, it's show day. And that was like, okay, we're going to change people's lives. And I am here, and I'm okay with being selfish.
And there is, women do go through this, and we have something we love, but we also want to have kids. And that's an issue. That's a big issue. You have the dream, or you want that dream, and we all need something more. I mean, having kids is fantastic. I have 3 beautiful boys. I wouldn't trade them for the world.
I would never trade them either. But I was saying, 5, 2 girls and a boy. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Well,
so 3 as well.
You've got some of that. I'm only the only girl in my house.
I know, that's got to be hard.
Oh, no, it's not.
Really hard.
It's not, but it is funny. But I have to say, when I had that same problem, I do think, though, I think that when you are doing something you love and it fulfills you, it fulfills the kids too. They get that joy part of you. You don't feel like you're sacrificing, and you don't put it on your kids like it's their fault.
Right, definitely. And I will say, my kids grew up knowing that at 14 I discovered my passion. So they, were 15, 16, and they're like, oh my God, I don't know what I want to do. They're like, oh my God. I'm like, don't worry. They all work in television, which is funny. My son, when he was 4 years old, even before I took him, and they grew up on the set at Oprah, but even before I took him, he said, Mom, 4 years old, I want to be the guy who punches the button to make TV shows when I grow up. And I'm like, that is a technical director, and you're 4 years old, and who speaks like this?
Yes.
This child, Billy Loveman, is my Love Speaks child in every way, shape, or form. He's been making iMovies and dressing in a costume and being a performer. He's now an actor on the stage. He's at Northwestern Film School. He's going to the Prague Film School this summer. He is literally, all he wants to do is direct and block and act and make. And this is what he said at 4 years old. So you can't stop it. Like I invited them to the Oprah show all the time. And my girls were like, oh, I want to see Justin Bieber or, Taylor Swift. Billy was like, I want to touch the camera. So,
he knew. He just knew.
Yeah, he knew. It's in his DNA, and I think that has a lot to do with it. And yes, it's in my DNA, and so maybe that's why. But, everybody's different. And when I was a little girl, I had, my dad was a doctor. My mom stayed home. My sisters are older, and one's in medicine, one's in finance. I don't like either of those things. And when I discovered television, I'm like, oh, my God. And it's literally because my mother invited me to the Mike Douglas show. And had I said no, I would have missed that opportunity.
Isn't
I would have
that
missed
funny?
the Clipboard Girl. I would have missed Oprah. I would have missed television. And so, it's very easy for us to say, no, I don't want to go, Mom. We've all done it to our moms. And we might even still do it as adults. But if you say yes, you have no idea what that opportunity will present to you.
Yeah, what will unfold.
The whole trajectory of your life. And for me, it gave me a passion that I had no idea I was looking for.
Very cool.
And so, so I say yes.
Say yes. You are listening to 30-Minute Moments with Alena Chapman and Sally Lou Loveman. And I'll tell you what, be right back because we're going to really get into it now.
You're listening to 30-Minute Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you discover your true purpose on WOWO and at WOWO.com.
Welcome back to 30-Minute Moments. I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and I am talking to Sally Lou Loveman. Now, we are talking about our dreams, guys. We're talking about making it real. Sally, okay, so we've talked about what we liked as a child, how it's tied in. I mean, when you're working with people and you have this person who has been doing this job they've hated all their life, and all of a sudden you're saying, what do you say to them?
Well, first of all, doing what you love is a total luxury. If you are lucky enough to figure out what it is that you love, first of all, because that's the first thing, and that you could get paid for it, then it's just a total win. So a lot of people don't have that. And because for whatever reason, what they love doesn't afford the lifestyle that they want. And so they have to pay the bills. And so they have to supplement. And I believe supplement. But you can never not do what you love because it brings life and joy to you.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. And I always ask people, what was your talent as a young girl? And like you said singing and plants and music. And for me, it was puzzles. I liked putting things together. I like when pieces fit neatly together. I also used to interview my sisters on our reel-to-reel audio tape recorder, and they would pretend that, they were celebrities, and I would pretend I was the anchor, and,
That's cute.
like you lined up your dolls.
I lined up all my dolls and talked to them.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. And so I lined up my sisters. And so when I am seating an audience, because I still do it, but especially at the Oprah show, every person was part of the puzzle. It was like I was creating this masterpiece, and every seat mattered. Every person that sat in it, their energy, their color, what they were talking about, whatever it was. So it was like putting a puzzle together with people.
That's very cool.
And my pre-show warm-up, which was me on the stage warming up the audience, was basically my show that I started in my basement with my sisters. So I use those talents, and then that is like, I wouldn't say, I like puzzles and I like talking to people, I should work in TV, but it just manifested that way, and I saw it so clearly. So I love to ask people, what is your talent and how are you using it? I have a friend, Henry Hardevelt, who is a leading analyst for the travel industry, and he talks about how he loved the smell of jet fuel as a kid. He loved traveling with his parents, and he played with toy airplanes. So
wow.
It's like, we don't have to complicate things.
No.
So I really try to tell people, what is it, the number one thing that you enjoy that feels like breathing to you? Like if I were to ask my 86-year-old mother, who I'm at her house right now, she would tell me knitting or pen or calligraphy or setting a table. I'm like, well, you could be she could have been in the entertainment business or event planning. So it's just whatever it is where you don't feel, because working is hard, and we don't have to make it harder.
No, we don't have to make it harder. No.
Right. If someone put me in a bank, which I did do one summer, I cried every day. I count on my fingers. It's too quiet. Yeah. I don't enjoy it. I'm not good with that. I know. And so I definitely don't like. I don't like. Oh, hold on one second.
Yeah.
I don't like math.
No,
so
neither do I.
Like a bank.
Right. No
so,
bank.
So stay away from that. Stay away from the things
it doesn't gel. I remember when I was a secretary, I thought I was going to die. I was so bored. There was no decision making. I was just taking orders. I like making decisions. I like putting things together like you. I love seeing I love being creative. I love writing. I love I love bringing people to a happier place. And there, all I did was take orders. And I thought I was going to scream. Nobody wanted me to do anything creative.
But how great is it that you actually, as much as I say stay away from it, do it so that you know that's not what I want.
The contrast. Yeah, you learn the contrast.
It's really, really, I always remind people, don't ever think that you made a mistake by doing a job that you didn't like. It woke you up to say, nope, not for me. And that's just puts you on the path that you're supposed to be on.
Yeah, don't stay there.
Right.
Don't stay there. That's a contrast. We don't want to stay in the contrast. Yes.
Right. But, and I think that a lot of people just have fear that they aren't worthy, or who am I to do,
or that
what
they're going to fail. Yeah.
And so we have to talk about the purpose and allow yourself and get rid of that doubter voice and ease into it. If you can't quit your job at the bank, if you don't like banking or whatever, I mean, there are plenty of people that love it, and I wish I did. But if you can't quit the job that you don't love, make sure you figure out a way to incorporate what you do love into your life, even if you're not paid for it, and then see where it goes from there. Because it's not about the money. It's about filling your soul, but then we also really need to live. So you also have to earn a living.
I have this person who does, he started out like almost a handyman, and he was working also at a store, and he put in fireplaces. But on the side, this guy was a carpenter. Now, he stayed and he did all this installing of fireplaces and everything, but on the side, he would build his clientele through the years doing carpentry. He made the most beautiful bridge for me, and he made the most beautiful perigo. So when all of a sudden he says, okay, I have enough clients, I have enough that I can do, I'm busier than I could ever imagine, and I'm creating beauty, he'd now quit his job.
See?
So that
That's
transition, yeah, it's, and
you know what
he's
it's
always felt
called?
his heart is full, you know?
You know what it's called, Alena? It's called momentum. It's called momentum.
Love
And
momentum.
So if you are easing into it, and I can get real spiritual and say it's God, but it's like it is literally momentum of you doing, and it's practice, and suddenly what you're putting into that universe is actually going to come back and tell you, yes, I can do this because I'm already doing it, right?
Right. That's exactly right. And that's what he was doing. So it's perfect.
Yes.
You are listening.
It's a perfect example.
You're listening to 30-Minute Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and we're with Sally Lou Loveman. We will be right back.
This is 30-Minute Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you find your inner self every Sunday on WOWO and at WOWO.com.
Welcome back to 30-Minute Moments, and guess what? It is the shift. The shift, the shift, the shift. This is where we find that incredible story, or maybe it was a small story that all of a sudden changed lives. So, Sally, what is your story?
Sally Lou.
Sally Lou, what's your story? I love it.
I know. My name is my story. First of all, it's such a thing because it's two
really
words,
fun.
One name. And then I married my brand, which is Loveman. And so it is a happy name, Sally Lou Loveman. But whenever anybody calls me Sally, I always have to say, it's Sally Lou.
Yeah.
So complicated.
Sure.
Okay, so anyway, my story is this. I worked for this huge brand, this incredible woman who changed my life and the world. And leaving that was really, really hard. But
I bet.
My job ended. And they were lovely and helped me stay on a couple of years past the show. I did other things, but I knew that my purpose was my connection with people and an audience. I connect people to a brand, and I connect a brand to an audience. That's what I do.
Yes.
And it's a niche. So I thought, well, I got to be able to do this somewhere. And I started getting opportunities to speak while I was still working there, but not on the show, on the network, at the network. And so I was emceeing an event for the National Restaurant Show in Chicago, and it was a 4-day event with celebrity chefs. And suddenly, on like day 2, some people were kind of hanging around, waiting to talk to me after one of the celebrity events. And then day 3, more people. And then the last
Very
day,
cool.
There was a line. And I'm like, I am not at the Oprah Winfrey Show. Why are these people waiting to talk to me? And
Isn't
they
that
were
cool?
waiting to talk to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just kept looking over my shoulder. I'm like, who are they waiting for? And I realized, oh, my God, I always thought I had this talent because I was at Oprah, and anyone could do this for Oprah. You could stand on the stage and suck your thumb, and people would cheer.
Oh, no.
So, but like I realized, oh my gosh,
They
waiting
wanted
to
you.
talk to me because they felt the connection,
Right,
And it
right.
wasn't just the brand. And so that was a really, really beautiful moment for me.
That's
and
very
I
cool.
still remember the person, and she's still a part of my life. Izzy Cross is her name, and I remember she was standing there, and I was like, "Oh my God, you're waiting to talk to me!" and so that was
See?
when it hit me, and I went, "Oh, I can do this. I can do this." It's not going to
Isn't
be
that
easy,
cool?
but I can do it.
Well, no. And if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth doing. You know what I mean? But it's a journey. And I think, and how many times do we get this kind of, it is a big aha moment, but it's not, but it is. And how many times do we push that aside? You know?
Right. And there are people that go through life that don't have these moments. And I don't even know what it would be like. Like, I get them all the time. I get them daily.
I get them all the time.
Yeah, and you're tuned in, and you're purposeful, and you get it, and it's what a blessing that is. It's a blessing.
I think people just don't listen to them. They don't even know what they are. Because I test Sally Lou. I test everything, and so when you tell me aha moments, I went to. Well, how many? 3 or 4 dinner parties, and I go around and I ask, "What's your aha moment?" And I couldn't tell you, some people said they didn't have one, but then when they heard what other people said, they said, oh, yeah, I get those once in a while. I don't pay attention. There are people that don't pay attention to them.
Right. And that is, listen, I'll just tell you, meditation, stillness, mindfulness brings all that source energy to you, and it blows your head.
And wakes you up.
All these things to wake you up. Exactly.
Yeah.
It is, for me, it's no accident that I was called to work for Oprah. My dad was a physician, and I used to go to the hospital with him, and I on the weekends when he did rounds, and I would be like, oh, my God, everybody knows him. He's making people feel so good and seen and heard, and everybody knows his name. He knows everybody's name. I felt like I was traveling with a rock star, and as I said, I was not ever going to be a doctor, but I wanted to change people's lives and make them better. So that is what drove me to work for Oprah. And for me, I wasn't saving lives, like I said, but I was making them better. And then
you might have saved a few. You know
what? I'm working on a book that I'm writing, and I realized I have saved a few.
Yes, you have
a few, and that is my purpose. And that is when love really speaks, when you really know that your purpose is being used and you have some value.
Yeah, your soul sings. Your soul sings. How can people find you?
Oh, they can find me on Instagram at Living Love Speaks. They can find me on Facebook at Love Speaks. You can find me on my site, which is lovespeaks.tv.
You can't forget that. Love speaks. It's easy. Love men, love speaks. Yeah.
Right. When love speaks, all you have to do is listen to that something that you love and do it.
Do it. I know.
Yeah.
Well, everyone out there, all the listeners, I mean, it's true. When you do something that you truly love, it just gives you so much joy in your life. People say to me they always want happiness. And really, that is the fulfillment and happiness.
That's
so look at your life this week and start to see, okay, how can I put some of this joy, things that I have so much joy doing, how can I add this more in my life? That is what brings ease and joy. Thank you so much, Sally Lou. And
thanks, Alena Chapman.
Oh, and thank you to all the listeners out there. Let's do it. Namaste.
This has been 30-Minute Moments featuring Alena Chapman. If you missed an episode, download it now at wowo.com.
Podcasts by Federated Media.